Well, hey everybody, we're on another field trip to Jacob's farm today. We have a Jacob. We're going to do a mite check on Jacob's bees. Use rubbing alcohol, and we'll be using our sugar or our alcohol wash jars. Appreciate you blowing that smoke in my face. That's a good look. So what we'll do, we're going to test for mites. Obviously, what we're doing. Step one, we'll go through. We'll capture his queen, so that she does not become part of the test material. We'll set the queen off to the side. We'll gather up, what do they say, 200 to 300 bees?
Yeah, somewhere in between there.
About a half a cup, I think is what they say. Once we get them into the jar, of course, we'll put the lid on, put the rubbing alcohol in. Ooh, lid's a little loose. Put the rubbing alcohol in there. Of course, that's fatal to the bees and makes it so the mites can't hang on. We'll swirl them around and then we'll count. We'll see how Jacob's bees are doing. There you go. Drop her underneath this so she's in the shade a little bit. All right, if you grab you a good brood frame, doesn't matter which one really. It's gonna get a little bit sporty, I think. Lower it down to my body. Want to get them off the brood frame. Okay, go ahead and give me their side. Good. I'd like to get another frame. Okay. That's probably about half as many bees as we would want. Okay. I'll give you one more frame's worth. Okay, good. Yep.
It gets you through the globe.
It did. Okay, I don't blame them. Okay, what we got here are our sacrifice victims here. Do have them in the jar. Jacob, you can go ahead and put that back together at your convenience.
Cool.
And what I did off camera, it was very quick. Didn't feel very good, but it was very quick death for these. So they didn't suffer, they didn't linger. What we'll do is, while Jacob's putting the box back together, we'll put the hive back together. We'll leave these sit and soak. This is alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Like I said, while we're putting the hive back together, then we'll get ready to do the swirly, and we don't have to do that around the hive. We'll probably take that back up to the yard. And oh, I do want to release your queen. I'm going to put her back in the bottom box when you're ready. Yep. You ready?
Yep.
You see her?
You sure she won that?
Okay. So this little queen catcher clip was a handy critter. You can buy a package of them off of Amazon or from your bee supplier. They're very inexpensive. Good for temporary little things like that. Maybe catching a swarm where you want to catch the queen and identifier. Okay, so we have the bees inspected. We just as a recap, we went through. Jacob did a typical hive inspection for early fall, mid fall. Look for brood, stores. Brood looked good. Stores could have been a little heavier, but not bad. I don't want it to sound like it's bad. We did isolate the queen. Once she was isolated, took a sample off of a couple different brood frames. Important to get the brood frames, in my opinion. And now I've just got them shaken up so that any mites that are present are falling off the bee. The alcohol, not only does it kill the bee, of course it kills the mite, but their feet have these little suction cups, and that's how they stay onto the bee. So what we're doing is we're just giving it some time. I didn't time it, but we're giving it a little bit of time to shake and swirl. And then count one mite. Two. So what we have is we have that alcohol transferred into the bottom jar through that mesh screen. We're shaking it, shaking the bee sample. And I actually count 3 now, maybe 4. So what the process will look like now is we'll probably do that again. We'll rinse them back, make sure we didn't miss anything. I'm forgetting a step here. I'm learning as I go. This is what we want. We're missing a piece. Do you have a white bowl or a bucket?
Yes, I can grab it.
Okay. Okay. So now what we have, a little bit more of a controlled environment, a little easier to count. So we're shaking the sample out into this white bowl. There's only 2 mites this time. Oh, there's another one. So far we have 3 verified mites in this sample, and what we'll do now is after we are confident we have all the mites out, there's another one, so there's 4. All right, so we just kept shaking the bees, and we did end up with 6 mites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what we need to do is we need to determine the actual count of dead bees, and then that will give us a percentage. So we'll take the number of dead mites divided by the number of bees, and that will give you your mite load. So this scene from a horror show looks like 280 dead bees. So fun fact, Jacob and I are both taking college algebra separately at different universities. Anyway, so we're gonna do some finger wiggling, y equals mx plus b wiggling, and figure out how many mites on 280, 6 mites, see what the percentage is. All right, Jacob, the math major, said that 6 mites in 280 bees. We did some decimal point shenanigans, and we got to 2.1%. So we had an average of about a 2% mite load in Jacob's hive. Now we need to figure out if that's the threshold to treat. But that was the process for doing an alcohol wash to test for Varroa mites on your honeybees. It didn't feel great to kill Jacob's bees. It felt better to kill Jacob's bees than my bees. Wah, wah. But what this will let us do is we'll determine now if we're going to treat that hive with, if we do, it would be with Formic Pro. So Jacob, any last words of wisdom?
We killed a lot of bees.
Killed 280 bees today. 281. I took a sting to the pinky. we're gonna call that 281. So thanks for coming out, or thanks for letting me come out today.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me do this alcohol wash, and we'll figure out if that's a treatment or not. If you enjoyed the video, there should be a box in the lower right. Click on that to comment or subscribe, comment, or give me a question if you have one. Hope you found this useful.